Hello, friends! As far as American high schools go, graduation and prom night are considered the milestones of every teenager's school life. Prom night is a major event for seniors, especially for girls, for whom getting ready for prom is a lengthy and expensive process. And no matter how old you get, you always remember your prom night. Schools also understand the importance of prom night and do their best at making it memorable for everyone. An all-boys high school in Miami took keeping prom night memorable to another level. On the night of the prom, when the massive crowd of students poured inside the venue, ready to make memories, they were not ready for what was waiting for them inside. The final year of high school was coming to an end, and that could only mean one thing. It was time to celebrate, eat, drink, click selfies, and dance all night. That's right, prom was just at the horizon, and the seniors were ready to party. Christopher Columbus High School is an all-boys Catholic private school in Miami, Florida. Founded back in 1958, their priorities and principles remain the same. They want to make Jesus acknowledged and loved by all as they prepare young men for their destinies. They have always nurtured a family spirit in their school. After working hard all year, the students of Christopher Columbus High School deserved a grand celebration night at their prom, and the school administration was aware of it. So they decided to go all out for the prom night celebration. But before ordering decoration and flyers, they needed to decide on this year's theme. Last year's prom night was a grand success. The carnival theme took the prom celebration to another level, and everybody loved it. So this year needs to be bigger than that for sure. The committee began brainstorming ideas for the big night. Eventually, they finalized something extraordinary for the seniors. Now that the theme was ready, a venue was needed to be picked out for the event. The school decided to book a local hotel and convention center. Once the details were finalized, it was time to print out the invites and send them out. The school administration announced the final theme of the prom night to be Welcome to the Jungle, also known as a safari theme. Seniors were hyped for it, even though they were not entirely sure what entails a jungle party. But they were promised a night to remember, so they had their expectations set high. The main task for any prom night is to wear the perfect outfit, whether it's renting out a tuxedo or buying the most gorgeous dress. The possibilities are endless. As a result, shopping sprees are how most teenagers spend their time leading up to the prom night. Students reached the venue in huge groups, excited to let the celebrations commence. The girls were dressed in stunning dresses, hair, and makeup on point, accompanied by their dates in dapper tuxedos. Everybody was well-dressed and wanted to stand out to become the prom king or queen, but from the looks of the crowd, there were many takers for that title. Once inside the venue, the students barely took notice of the decorations because they were pretty casual. There were plenty of potted plants across the room, some projection of leaves on the walls. But nothing was screaming jungle at them as such. But the best was yet to come. As the youngsters walked inside the ballroom, they let their eyes adjust to the sight of their surroundings. This room was screaming jungle party in every possible way. There were palm trees in the center of the tables, with fruits cut up like flowers, stuffed snakes around wooden boards. It was like a safari park in here. There were also different stations set up from every other prom party, but of course jungle themed. A photo booth was set up with all kinds of props. There were also various games and activities prepared for the students to have the best time. There was yet another surprise waiting for the students. A photographer was roaming around the ballroom who was going to click your pictures with live animals. There were fennec foxes, lemur, a parrot, and other little creatures who were brought to the venue for this photo session. By the looks of the gathering around that station, it was a hit. Everyone was enjoying the night, dancing away on the dance floor, eating their hearts out. But whispers were going around the ballroom that there is one surprise left for everyone, and it will be revealed when the entertainment show will commence. Once all the guests had arrived, it was time for the entertainment show. Everybody was requested to take a seat in front of the huge circular space where there was a band playing some instrumentals, filling the silence as everyone slowly got seated. Once everybody took their seats, it was time to get started with the entertainment show. The very first event of the night was a jungle safari-themed fashion show. People were already at the edge of their seats cheering on and participating with the crowd. Every contestant had a jungle-themed prop for their walk, be it a stuffed animal, leopard print accessories, or khaki pants. The crowd came alive as the showstopper walked out in a butterfly outfit, concluding the fashion show. Once the fashion show ended, the lights went out and the audience could see two people walking towards the stage. Suddenly, two spotlights pointed at the duo, bringing them out of the shadows. They were dressed in tribal printed leotards and were carrying torches in their hands. As they reached the center of the stage, they lit the torches and began to perform a fire dance. People were in awe of the skills these men had. Their bodies showed the kind of flexibility which was crazy. They were playing with fire, throwing around the torches with such smooth and clean moves that it felt like magic. Once the act was over, the audience was on their feet, clapping and cheering for the performers. Once the men walked away from the stage, the lights went out again. Turns out, there was one more act prepared for the night, which was the main event. Nobody knew what it is, but it was something big. People could feel the anticipation in the air as they waited for the reveal of this final act. Everyone was requested to stand near the edge of the dance floor as the surprise was ready to be wheeled in. People slowly gathered near the dance floor. Sparks were shot from the cannons near the DJ booth to welcome the main act of the evening. People were stunned to see a huge cage being rolled to the center of the floor. The lights were still off, so the only reflection of the cage they could see was because of the sparkling lights near the DJ booth. The crowd got anxious as they observed something moving inside the cage, and then they noticed the glowing eyes. The lights were suddenly turned on and several gasps escaped from the crowd as their eyes settled on what was inside the cage. More like who was inside the cage. It was a tiger. The school had brought a tiger to their jungle party. People were bewildered to see the live animal inside the massive cage, casually resting on the dance floor. The tiger's coat was more rustic orange than flames-like orange. He was settled in the corner of the cage, glaring at everyone from behind his paws. It was apparent he hated every moment of this event. But people were oblivious to it, cheering and clapping at its sight. The tiger started pacing back and forth in the cage, caught off guard with the massive crowd and loud sounds. But the ignorant crowd was quick to take out their phones and click pictures and record clips of the tiger to upload on every social media platform they could. The cage was rolled away from the stage as the night slowly came to an end. The music was much softer now. People were still discussing the main event of the night. They could not believe their school had made such grand arrangements for prom. Almost every teenager present at the prom that night uploaded a picture or video clip to his or her social media profile. Be it Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, the prom night at Christopher Columbus High School was posted on every social media channel, and slowly it became the talk of the town. The social media posts began to circulate beyond the school community, among friends, family, relatives, etc. Soon enough, it caught the attention of the local news, who posted about it on their website and also published various newspaper articles. That is when things went out of hands for the school really fast. Christopher Columbus High School woke up to an angry group of protesters outside its gate the next morning. The group was protesting for the cruelty of caging a tiger and putting him in an uncomfortable environment, surrounded by people who were cheering and clicking his pictures. Not only that, there was a backlash on social media channels as well. People were tweeting and commenting about how this act was plain stupid on the school's part. Tigers are not supposed to be in captivity anyway, and to put him in a cage surrounded by a huge crowd of teenagers was inhumane. The clips also reached PETA, who expressed their outrage about the situation by putting out a statement that said, "Wild animals aren't prom decorations. Displaying a tiger in a tiny cage and allowing students to handle lemurs is cruel to the animals and dangerous for the students, and it sends the harmful message that living beings are props to be used for human amusement." The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission declared that they are looking into the situation to see if any violation of Florida's captive of wildlife rules took place that night. However, if all rules and regulations were followed, then they can't take any action against the school, as the exhibition of wildlife at public events is not prohibited by Florida law. The parents of the teenagers who go to the school were extremely disappointed with this act. Schools are supposed to teach kindness and compassion to students. But if this is the kind of example that the school is going to set for the children instead, then they are not certain if they are sending their children to the right place. After watching the video clips of the tiger in the cage, an animal expert confirmed what everyone was worried about. The tiger was uncomfortable inside the cage. He was not celebrating, nor was he in the mood to party. With this news hitting the papers, the already enraged public turned to the only person they could blame for this. All fingers were pointing to one person, David Pugh, the principal of Christopher Columbus High School. People were angry about how he could have allowed something like this to happen in his school. It was extremely irresponsible, as this decision could have ended badly. The act of bringing a tiger to a school prom was not only uncomfortable and cruel for the tiger, but it also put the lives of all those teenagers in danger. Even though the tiger was in a cage, anything could have happened which would have resulted in a serious disaster. Buried under all the protests and complaints, the school realized they can't be silent anymore. There was no denying it. They knew they are at fault here, and that they may have gotten carried away with the celebrations. So the principal decided it was necessary to put out an apology to everyone. The next morning, Christopher Columbus High School released a statement in which the principal apologized for the use of animals for prom celebration. It said, "We recognize this decision has offended some, and for that we apologize." The statement went on to explain what precautions the school took to ensure safety for the animals as well as for the students. In an attempt to further clarify things, the principal said, "Although it was in a controlled environment and handled by professionals approved by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation, we understand how some individuals may be concerned." The statement also declared that moving forward, the school will assess its policies and procedures when organizing events. The principal ended the statement by saying, "We all have learned a great deal from this experience." While this statement did not make up for what the school did, it got people to calm down and work towards moving on from the situation. The school administration has declared that they understand the gravity of the incident. They have given their word that such behavior will never be repeated on the school's part. As a part of their apology, they also requested all the students to remove any videos or photos of the distressed animal from the internet. The celebration from the prom night left a severe dent in the school's reputation. They have a long way to go before they can earn back their credibility in the community. But making that statement and admitting their mistake was a much-needed first step on their part, for which we can surely appreciate their effort. So friends, it's just a simple story that really makes you think. I hope you enjoyed it well. That's it for today. Rate this video, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time.